September 15th, on my birthday, I just got the sad news that the Harley-Davidson Motor Company has officially ended production of the Sportster, this iconic piece of machinery, which was my previous bike. I've moved on since then, but still, it still stings a little bit to know that this iconic piece of America is now gone forever. It is now ancient history. So here's a short little montage of my Sportster. Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome again to the channel. This is Kawasaki Diary. Hit y'all up with another entry. You know what I'm saying? Writing in the book of life right now, the open pages with my blood, sweat, and tears. You know what I'm saying? And basically just turning the GoPro on and just capturing life as it happens. All my experiences, the ups and downs. And without further ado, here we go. This is Kawasaki Thoughts. Basically, I just got a few things on my mind. I'm just reflecting on the riding season so far. Right now, it's mid-September. My birthday is tomorrow. I've just been reflecting because this has been a very unique year. My first year on a real hardcore sport bike. As you guys may not have known, or if you know, I'm not sure how deep you are in the channel or not, but basically let me go back a couple of years. I was down with Psycho Cruiser, watching his videos and stuff, and I wanted to get into motovlogging, and he kind of inspired me to get my motorcycle endorsement. So I went through Harley Davidson and took the course through them. I failed the first time because that Street 500 bike was very clunky, and it pretty much sucked. It was abused to all hell, dropped multiple times and everything by probably thousands of previous students, and that bike it was done. But I failed the first time, and then the second time I passed, and I turned around and I got a Ninja 250. Now when I got the Ninja 250, I just was so happy. It was my first bike. I just went on a crazy joyride, and I should have just took it home and just practiced, because I ended up crashing it. I only had that bike for like about a couple of hours before I totaled it. My very first bike. And that's why I always wear gear, because if it wasn't for wearing the gear and everything, I probably wouldn't even be here right now. To put a long story short, I basically had target fixation and slid into a guardrail. Looked like staring down the very thing I was trying to avoid. So that basically was it, how I crashed and totaled it. And remarkably enough, at 70 miles per hour, going onto the on-ramp to the interstate, trying to get back home, I only made it out with just a swollen thumb on my right hand. That took like about a whole 2 months before the swelling went down, and I was able to like actually use the thumb. But anyway, I went and I turned around and bought the exact same bike again, the old school Ninja 250, the boxy looking one, the one looked like it was designed by the very first human. Like, I think Adam in the Garden of Eden designed that thing. So basically I rode that bike to death. It was a 250. I basically toured on that thing. I used it way beyond its capabilities. Then, you know, I got the Harley bug. I was watching like Shade Tree Surgeon, and I was watching Blockhead, and I was like, wow, the Harley culture is pretty cool. Let me go ahead and buy a Sportster, get to that cruiser life, which was good. I love the customization of the cruisers. I loved how, like, that V-twin sound was and everything, but Cruises was heavy. And I felt in my heart that something was missing, that to be honest, I kind of got bored on that thing, to be honest with you. So I was like, you know what, I want to try sport bikes. But I was very intimidated by sport bikes. I know a family member that passed away on one. You always heard about sport bikes crashing, especially like in the urban areas, in the hood, where people like to stunt and like to go out with roll with 30-40 people, and like block traffic, do burnouts and all this stuff, stunting. So I kind of realized that it's the person that's in control of the bike is the one that's really in charge. It's not the sport bike that's going to go around and just kill you or murder you. But like, if you just take it easy and just like chill and just like be responsible human being, most likely you won't die. I know somebody could just rear you in a Tesla and other things happen. Sometimes life just jumps up and bites you, but for the most part, a lot of times you can avoid your own death by just not being stupid. So I was like, let me get a sport bike. So I went and got like a Kawasaki Ninja 636, and like I was scared to death to ride this thing. But after riding it, I was like, oh my god, this is what I wanted this whole time and didn't know it. Let me tell you, it's not about the blinding, blistering speed. Can you go fast? Yes. Did I go with 160 and faster? Yes, on a speed run, but that's after I got comfortable with the bike. Basically, it's like this. There's a 250 in there. There's a 300 in there. There's a 400 in there. It's a 636. So you don't have to drive it or ride it at blinding, blistering speeds at the speed of light if you don't want to. You can just chill on that thing, get to know it, pamper yourself, baby it, whatever you gotta do, and get comfortable in it. They gotta have experience riding before I just jumped into the sport bike realm. And that Ninja 250 helped, believe it or not. But just take your time, get to know the bike and everything, and just gradually break yourself in, prepare yourself for like speed once you get comfortable. And that's basically the advice that I told myself, and that's basically what I did with the sport bike. I kind of just gradually grew into it, if you will. And I love it because, number one, you got blinding, blistering speed, but you could just cruise on it as well. It's very comfortable for a sport bike. Some would say it's even a sport tourer because of the comfortability of the bike. And like, I have everything I need in this bike. It's a cruiser when I want to cruise. It's a sport bike when I want to go fast. The handling and agility is amazing. It's kind of heavy for a sport bike, but no way as heavy as the Harley Davidson Sportster at all. So I guess because I came from that Sportster, the weight doesn't really bother me. But I guess for a sport bike person, it probably would be on the heavy side for a sport bike. But anyway, the brakes are phenomenal. On the Harley, it was just like brake and pray that you'll stop on time. But in this thing, man, if you're not careful, you could do a front flip if you apply the brakes too hard or too aggressively. The braking is phenomenal. I love the agility. I feel very comfortable. I feel like I have a commanding presence on the road. I feel it's confidence inspiring because the package of the sport bike is like, wow, the brakes are phenomenal. The agility is there. I feel very safe on this thing because if I want to get out of trouble or get away from somebody that's aggressive, I could take off and nobody can find me. Nobody can catch up to me. If I need to brake, the braking power is there. The agility to like go around potholes or go around cars or something jump out in front of me, I can swerve. I could not do none of that on that cruiser. That cruiser, it was like basically I was like riding a land barge, like those ships that ship those containers, those shipping containers, the real big giant boats. It's basically like the cruiser was kind of like that. It was like I didn't have no agility. The brakes were very suspect, and it was just a very heavy, lumbering, like just obese ride. I guess that's the best way to describe it. But I feel very great on the sport bike. This is something I've been missing, and after getting over your fear of like you're gonna kill yourself with the speed, you're gonna like take off and run into a pole or something, or it's gonna get away from you. Once you kind of like get the experience and get comfortable on there, you find out that the sport bikes is where it's at, in my opinion. Do I want to add a bike to the stable eventually? Yes. I want to get into the dual sport. And the reason why is because, okay, street is covered. I'm on a sport bike, okay. I can cruise on that thing. I can go fast on that thing. It's on the street. Okay, we got that covered. So why add another street bike? Why get another bike that's basically kind of doing the same thing? So why don't we like switch it up and get into the dirt? You know what I mean? So I'm thinking about really a dirt bike, the Kawasaki KLX 300, which is a dual sport bike. I mean, it's a dirt bike you could take on the street, you could take it on the highway, whatever. It's kind of like a jack of all trades. Is it as good in the dirt as a dirt bike? No. Is it as good on the street as a street bike? No. It's just a get by bike. Like, we could get by on the highway, we could get by on the street, but the dirt is where it really shines at. But not as good as a dirt bike, which is a bike dedicated exclusively to the dirt. The dual sport bike has compromises. It's like, okay, it's not 100% dedicated to the dirt. Okay, we need to make it street legal, so we got to comply to the federal government thing, regulations of what a vehicle on the street's supposed to be, like the emissions, the freaking horn, plates, headlights, things that you need for a street bike, blinkers. On a dirt bike there's none of that. It's just the engine. Just get out there, knobby tires, go kill yourself, go by, ride off a mountain. Now the reason why I want to do a sport is to switch it up and just have a whole nother experience. That'll open up a whole nother world. But there's two things though. The KLX 300, there's the dual sport version, which is like designed to go in the dirt as well as on the street, and then you got the Supermoto, which is cool because what they did was they just took a dirt bike and slapped some street tires on there. Now, why would they do something crazy like that? Well, basically, you got the durability of a dirt bike, meaning you could drop it off a mountain and it'll pick it up and it'll start, and you could just keep going. And at the same time, it has the street tires on there, so you could do like hooligan stuff. You got the agility and durability of a dirt bike with the the agility and the prowess of a street bike, which I think is pretty cool. And you could take it off road too. Now I'm leaning towards the dual sport because really, how often am I going to be going off road? I mean, yeah, I'm sure I could find some trails here and there. I'm sure I could like go out to PA and really get out there in the dirt, in the mountains and the Poconos and stuff like that. But how often am I really going to be doing that? I'm going to be mostly on the street. So there's a thing called urban, it's urban effery. You use your imagination what I'm trying to imply there, but we'll just call it the hooliganism, the hooliganess. There's a hooligan aspect to the Supermoto bike, meaning that doing everything you would do in the woods, but doing it in the hood or in the city environment. Like, okay, going through playgrounds, going up and down stairs, going through abandoned buildings, going through shopping centers, going through escalators at the mall, like stuff like that. Just straight up hooliganism. I want to get into that, you know what I'm saying? I want to get into like, turn the city into an obstacle course. And that's kind of like pulling me as far as why I want to do the Supermoto thing. It's basically, I got the dirt bike in here, but I got street tires on here too. So I'm leaning towards that. I think that'd be awesome for the channel to really get into some trouble here. And when I say trouble, I'm not saying literally, but just doing some hood rat things, Don't take it too far, but just doing stupid stuff, just living a little bit, just living life a little bit, just not being so uptight, and just, you know, just cut loose every once in a while, have a little nice little outlet. And I'm gonna insert a clip of some people that inspired me. The link to the channel is down there in this description of this video. And they kind of inspired me. These people out here in Europe, on their little supermoto bikes, doing some hood rat things and just being like cool with the music to the videos and stuff. I'll insert a couple, but that's inspiring me right there. So that's it with the video. I'm gonna cut it short, and I just thank you for listening, and I'm out. This has been Kawasaki Diary, Kawasaki Thoughts.